What's good everyone, it's TreezErik here, welcome back to another Geoguessr video, and welcome back to the series where a bunch of pro Geoguessr players have made challenge maps for me, and it's my task to get as high scores as I possibly can on them. Meanwhile, they are trying to get me to get as low a score as possible. So we have 4 different pros who've made me challenge maps today. The first one here is actually by Kirania, who is another Australian pro, one of the best players in Australia, and is also on call with me right now and watching me play. So hopefully the pressure doesn't get to me, and he can also give us some analysis of what he thought of my gameplay after the seed is over. Also, it's a challenge link, so you can go ahead and play against me in the description. And yeah, we've got the leaderboards here. Debray has made the hardest map of them all so far, making me get less than 1,000 points. Meanwhile, I've not eclipsed 15,000 points yet, getting close a bunch of times, but never quite getting there. So let's just see how we're able to go today. Here's Kirania's map, and hopefully we actually play well here. So also, I don't have the compass on, it's disabled, and also most of the Geoguessr should be obscured as well. And here we have a very interesting first round. It looks like we're in some kind of like a theme park, amusement park or something. Something kid-oriented, but also very lots of nature going on here. This round is going to be very difficult. Ooh. So, I mean, when I was looking like around here, I did not think of Australia at all, but we do have a lot of eucalyptus trees going on here. So I wonder if this could possibly be in Australia. It's not out of the question. So now I'm trying to find something that actually looks Australian. Like, this bin does not particularly feel Australian to me. Neither did, like, the kind of cobblestone on the side of the footpath here, but it's not out of the question. Maybe it could be, like, up in Darwin or something like that. But yeah, this is definitely a difficult round. I don't really see... We have a How to Train Your Dragon here. I really don't know what that would mean. How to Train Your Dragon meta is a bit beyond me. But yeah, I mean, like, the trees... I mean, could this ever be Perth? He's from Perth. I mean, it's not out of the question to me, but I think it's a bit too green overall. But I don't really have a better idea than Australia. Especially without being able to tell what direction the sun is. Like, it could be. It realistically could be Australia. And I think it's the best thing I've thought of, despite my reservations. So really, would I go for Perth here? It almost looks more like Adelaide. And yet, I know it's not Adelaide because I would recognize the place. So maybe I would try even like Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, something like that. Brisbane seems at least possible here with all the palm trees, so I might go for that. Not confident here, especially because I just feel like the bin and a lot of the infrastructure here is wrong. But in the interest of time, let's just send it in Brisbane and see. And okay, well, it's actually South Africa. That makes sense for the similar vibes. But obviously we are very far away here in Finbarr, Port Elizabeth, so there we go, 8 points only. Yeah, makes sense. The bin looked more South African than it did Australian, so in hindsight, definitely can see that one. The next one here, we have a very interesting pavement, almost looks Brazilian. The rest of the round does not appear to be Brazilian, though. Here we have a car. Ooh, my thought here was like a Jordan, I must admit. That was my first thought. Ooh, we have like a Soviet-style pole there. Can you ever get those ones in Jordan, I wonder? And of course, this could still be Europe, like Malta, maybe. I don't think it quite feels like Malta, but it kind of does, especially if we can see water. It could be Maltese. I don't mind that idea, actually. There's a bunch of places this can be, though. So Jordan, Israel. I think Greece is kind of unlikely, but I like the Malta idea, honestly. It's also an Asian car. Asian cars are really common in Malta because they drive left-hand side of the road, so, you know, Japanese cars are more easily imported there, I guess, and that kind of thing. Especially with the ocean, I think I do actually like that idea. The Soviet-style, like, Italian-style pull top, I don't really know which it is, but obviously we're pretty close to Italy, but we're very far from the Soviet Union, so that's the only thing that makes me think maybe this would be more so Eastern. Like, it could actually be Dagestan. It could actually be like around Derbent or Makhachkala. The license plate doesn't feel that Russian to me. I think it would be longer in Russia. I hope so. Ooh. Man, if we knew the direction of the ocean, maybe this is actually Dagestan, because that really looks like a Soviet pole. That is also an A-frame pole, I think. Ooh. This actually might be down there, guys. Okay. I have to think about that car. I mean, Asian cars, they're also more common. Like, we're very close to Asia at this point. More common in southern Russia. I could say that, maybe. And the castle is just strange. Yeah. I feel like maybe if this was Malta, I would have seen the castle before. So I think I'm actually going to make the switch to Russia, which is pretty crazy. Honestly, it's not a typical Russia if it is there. And I'm gonna feel silly if it's actually just Malta, because I thought I got that vibe off the car, but I think the poll makes me have to go Russia here. So Derbent, does it have a castle? I mean, that's probably worth looking for to begin with. I don't see one right there. It's probably going to be a significant like thing on the map. Okay, so what about Mahashkala? Again, not really seeing what I want to see here. Like it should be a fairly significant thing on the map, I would have thought. Okay, so what about this city here? It could be, and we have the right kind of like hill here. And yet I don't see what I want to see. So, Central Mosque, maybe. I mean, I think this is a bit bigger than a mosque. This is a proper castle, right? So, this is I can't believe I'm in this 50-50. It's very strange. And the trees, man. I think I'm gonna go for Russian here. I think it's more likely. Actually, this kind of little break in the wall feels kind of Russian, so I'll go for that. Okay, it actually was there in Derbent. What is this place? It's oh, it's there. It actually shows up if you zoom in just a bit more. But I didn't think that was going to be it's a museum icon, and that is a castle icon, and so I can only see the museum one. So, I mean, pretty good. We managed to get there in the end, but, you know, could have been even better. Okay, next one here. Difficult round. Could this be, like, Israel? Maybe. There's a lot of new Israel Gen 4 coverage. So, it kind of feels more like the USA, though, if I'm looking at these buildings in the background. Well, they're very poor. So, I'm less sure about that. This is, like, brand new development. Very interesting. Wow, it's actually a very difficult round, you know. Mexico comes to mind as well as the US. So I think I'm liking that kind of area. I could also see maybe Peru working here. Even though these are very mild hills for Peru, it really could be that. But what else could I say about this round? Yeah, a lot of these buildings, they feel a bit poor for the US. And this could be like an indigenous reservation. Sometimes they can't come across as a bit poorer, so that's possible as well. But I think I like Mexico the best out of anything I've thought of so far. Could I be on the wrong continent? Could it actually be Israel? I don't think so. I don't think so. South Africa? I guess that's also still possible. But I think I'll opt for Mexico on the border. I think that feels best. It could really just be the US as well. But all in all, I think I might go for like Chihuahua up in the hills. Or Coahuila. I'm trying to look at what actually the landscape would say to us. I think maybe more Chihuahua then. I'm gonna try this. I really don't know, like the development is weird. I don't really know what vibe I get off that, but I'm gonna go in here. Let's try it. Okay, not too bad. It was actually on the Mexican side indeed. That I should have thought of. Tijuana makes perfect sense there, but we're very secluded. And yeah, so I just didn't see enough buildings to really think of it. But we got the country right 2 times in a row, so that's good. We're on a decent score here. Next one. Ooh, I think I recognize the repeat here. I think I know. So if I'm remembering correctly, this might be one of the border roads in Bulgaria, which has a very like weird vibe to it. Like these like kind of like almost like molded trees, which look really like tropical. But I think I just recognize this red dirt. So I hope I'm not beating myself here. I think the trees actually do look European if you kind of look into the distance. And yeah, as far as I remember, this was like right on the border with Turkey in this national park. So we could be in for a good score here. If I'm correct about that. Just trying to figure out would it be this road? Doesn't really feel like we're next to the ocean, but we could be. I think it's somewhere in here, so I'm just going to plonk it like that. And am I right? I am. Nice. Okay. That's good to be able to remember the repeat there. So we actually could get our PB here. And the last one here is Generation 2. And we are looking at some very flat marshlands here. I think this should be Alaska or Canada. But I'm not sure which of the two is going to be correct here. What is that now? Some kind of a factory or something? So I think my main thought is actually, not that one. I think my main thought is actually Inuvik or something around there. But I guess it could also be Proto Bay. That's also one of the main contenders here. I just can't remember exactly how Inuvik would actually look. I think I prefer it though. So we see land in all directions here, even if it is just marshy land. I don't know if there's a side road or something that we could be on here. Meanwhile, at Proto Bay, would we see land all sides? Yeah, we would as well. So yeah, I think I'm between those two for sure. I just don't really know which one it would actually be. Obviously, we're past the tree line here on both of them, so there's no trees inside at all. Pretty sure that's the case. I'm gonna go for Inuvik here. But who knows, maybe I'm sending the wrong side on this occasion. And oh, it was Denmark. Okay, I was pretty confident there. This is like a land bridge, and that's a pretty crazy one. I was never gonna get that right. So there we go. We end up with a total of 12,857.
GG's, dude. You were going so well there. That Bulgaria repeat was unfortunate, but yeah, you did really well on the Mexico and the Russia. Like, I didn't realize I left in Nepal. That was pretty good of you to suss it out, though. Like, I feel like that's still hard to figure out. The architecture is there so much more like Middle Eastern.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, did you think I would go for Malta? Like, was that one of your thoughts that I could go for, or what were you thinking?
I thought, yeah, like Malta, Jordan, Israel vibe. I thought,
right.
With that architecture and like the lamps on the road were so weird.
Yeah, definitely. They didn't look Russian. That's actually true as well. I didn't mention. That Denmark, though, is actually probably the craziest location of the whole seed. What was going on there?
Yeah, it was a kind of crazy find, yeah. Yeah, very weird little region of Denmark.
Yeah, so Kirania, thank you very much for the map. That was fun. And yeah, let's head through to the other competitors. And so yeah, there you go. We ended up with a 12.8k, putting us like in the top half of maps there. That was actually a pretty good effort. If we had just got one more location correct, it would have been the best, but that is a big what if. Next one here is made by Eamonn. Again, go ahead and hit the link in the description here. I've just pasted it now, and let's see how he can go. Eamonn, obviously one of the best players from New Zealand, and also someone who I suspect could pull out a really difficult challenge map here. First one, we immediately see bamboo here. So that is not a guarantee of Asia, but obviously it makes it more likely. And now if you look around this direction, yeah, not really seeing too much in the way of useful stuff here. The road is very narrow, which I immediately noticed about the round. But apart from that, yeah, not too much here at all. I would say that on this occasion, it may be South America. So you often see a bit of bamboo in southern Brazil. I also think I've definitely seen it a few times in Colombia. And I do wonder about Colombia on this occasion. That's not out of the question to me. Even Europe is possible here, like Spain, maybe France or something like that. I don't even mind that as a guess, you know. It's certainly like, I think the clue is in the trees behind. What do they look like? Maybe even American here. Ooh. I mean, I don't think the road really felt American, but regardless, it's possible. And maybe it's just Asia, because he could just be trying to bait us into doing something crazy when it's just a pretty simple Asia. Could this ever be Australia or New Zealand, actually? Man, this is like a forest round with planted bamboo is about as hard as it gets, to be honest. And I really don't have a good call here at all. The road is very thin. I think we have to work with that clue. And maybe that would make us lean Europe? I don't know. What is... It's also... The road is also wet. So it's really hard to tell what it's made of. I think it's actually concrete, which just doesn't make any sense to me either. Yeah, this is just a difficult one. I think I have to make a guess, and I might just try US here. I feel like US is always a pretty safe option if you have zero clue. Having said that, I'm also pretty sure it's wrong, but let's go for Georgia here. No, it was Chile. I got the South American vibe at first. Didn't think of Chile, though. That's a very difficult round. The road makes sense. Oh, it's this national park again. We already had this on the series once, and I remember I went completely wrong as well, so... the Temuco National Park, that's actually a crazy one. If you can put another one into a video, someone, that's going to be funny. And next one here, we have a trekker. We have a bunch of coconut palms here. Very, like, dark road. Could this be, like, Hawaii or something? Maybe. We have a Norfolk pine. Actually, that kind of bolsters my Hawaii theory. So I don't mind that at this point. Asia, also very possible here. If I was thinking Asia, I might be thinking of, like, I don't know, Indonesia or Philippines. I think Philippines actually would probably be the strongest option out of Asia here. A lot of this, like, grassiness on the side here. That probably reminds me more of Asia as well. But yeah, the Norfolk pine should be the big clue here. That obviously originates from Norfolk Island, which is not Lord Howe Island, but down here somewhere. Where is Norfolk Island, man? Thought it was, I didn't think it's too far. Okay, it's actually all the way out there. But yeah, they're actually spread all around the place now, and especially in Australia, Southeast Asia, South Africa even. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should just go with my first thought, which was Hawaii. I kind of like that with the pinkish road. I feel like you see those there. But yeah, not too confident. I think it's more likely to be Southeast Asia, but at least Hawaii's small, so if we happen to be correct, we can pick up some good points. And, oh, that's a really good guess. I wish I left it on Oahu. That's a really good guess. I'm impressed with myself there. Yeah, I guess the Norfolk pine really cemented that in my mind, and the road color being a bit pink makes sense as well. Oh, next one here is familiar. What is that mountain in the background doing? Ooh, this I have seen before, I think, and I don't know where we are. Well, let's run through our options. We have a cactus here. Is this really Mexico? I think it's more likely to be Argentina. Just a really weird feeling Argentina. Because we have big mountains. This, I feel like I'm missing something here. Like, I should be able to think of it. It kind of looks like maybe Mendoza or Neuquén here up in the mountains, maybe. That's at least like, I think, a solid guess. But, and that makes sense as well, because you often get like a very overcast set of coverage in Argentina. But that doesn't quite explain the weird vibe of the trees and the cactus as well here. Surely that has to be in a fairly warm climate for a cactus to grow. I would have thought so. And where I want to go is like even maybe further south, but the cactus means I have to go up here, I think. Peru, I just don't really see as being that possible. I guess Mexico with the cactus is still possible, but I don't get that vibe off the whole round itself. Could it be the US? Maybe. Not out of the question, I guess. That would be crazy US, and I just thought, you know, Eamonn? He's a New Zealander. Could this ever be New Zealand, like South Island? I mean, crazier things have been the case, especially with mountains, but I would like to say not. But I just thought of Colombia. Colombia is actually one that's possible. Again, I think with the cactus, we have to go Argentina or Mexico, though. I think it's too much for Colombia as well. So yeah, I'm going to go for Argentina. Second option, Colombia. Third option, Mexico. Let's see it. What is that actually going to be? Oh, it was Colombia. Okay. Oh, this little desert. I hate that place, bro. I never guess it right. It's like the tiniest desert in the world, I swear, but it always looks really dry, and you get cactus there, so there you go. That's really interesting. At least it was my second option, I suppose, but it wasn't my first, so that's unfortunate. And the next one here... Oh, okay. We have, like... we have, like, some red buildings here. These are interesting. Almost looks like South Africa. We have a rainbow as well. Like, tiled roofs here look, obviously, quite European. Ooh, I just thought of something. Could we be in Madagascar right now? I actually do see the Trekker peeking through here, which is a fair play, because Trekker actually is not... I think I must not have let Eamonn know, but Trekker is not really necessarily meant to be in the maps. But yeah, I think actually these mountains remind me of Madagascar. The weird houses also fit, and then this house, while it is definitely not fitting in my opinion, it's not out of the question. But yeah, I think I like it, especially with the Trekker coverage. I think it's... And also because I don't recognize these mountains at all, apart from that. So yeah, I would say we're like somewhere inland a bit here, like in this kind of region or something. I guess we could pick a national park here of some kind. Yeah, let's go in this one here. I mean, let's go at the Setam Lodge and see if we're correct about that. Not too bad, 100 kilometers away. I was feeling confident by the end there. I thought, you know, if it's going to be Trekker, then that would make sense. And the final one here, we have the potential to get the highest score of the whole series so far if we get the exact spot. This one's not so easy, though. So, what do we have? Very green vegetation. Looks like Europe. But is it? Maybe. We don't have any rifts in the sky or anything like that. We have a painted tree. I feel like I'm going to go the wrong continent here. I just don't think of what this is. Very white soil. And look at those. Like, could this ever be... Yeah, I thought of Botswana for a second, but it simply is impossible to be Botswana because of these kind of green hills. I just don't think that's ever able to be seen there. But it's at least something that crossed my mind. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it is Europe because I don't think of anything better. I guess USA is possible, but it doesn't really strike me that way, I think. So, yeah, I guess in Europe, It kind of looks like Albania, but I don't think it's Albania. So maybe Italy, Greece, maybe even Croatia. Spain, well possible as well, I would say. All in all, maybe I prefer Italy. I think Italy... it doesn't really look like Italy, though, does it? I don't know, Balkan, maybe. Or maybe Spain, indeed. Spain actually might be better than I initially thought. Just because of the dryness here, mixed with the kind of white soil. I don't know. I'm very torn here. As you can see, it often happens in this series, but I'm just going to head it in Italy. Let's see what it is, actually. Oh, southern Russia? Did that even cross my mind? I don't think it did. 1700 there, right on the south, like in the hills. Wow, that's like a very random stretch of road there. Why does it stretch like that? So you can't see the coastline. Cheeky one there. Man, we ended up getting so close here. Look at this. We ended up getting so close to the actual location in Temuco when we were trying to go for the Colombia. But I could say about that seed, if we went southern Brazil on the Chile, if we went Colombia, and yeah, I mean, basically those two, then we could have been in with a really good score again. But alas, we only got 11.5, which is still good. But yeah, GG's to Eamonn. Here's how the leaderboard is looking so far. Eamonn and Kirania both coming middle of the pack there. And next one is by TreezErik, who I must say was quite convinced that I wouldn't be able to get a single country correct here and that I would get less than 1,000 points. So, I mean, let's see. Let's see if we can also stick to the no trekker rule, but we'll see. This might be very difficult indeed. So, first one here. I thought of maybe Hawaii here with this much volcanic rock. I could also see like maybe Ecuador or Colombia as well, working quite nicely. Oh, you have like a fence that looks rather Colombian here, so I could definitely be amenable to a Colombia guess, I think. Lots of white buildings in the background. Yeah, I think either country is rather likely. But okay, what about how volcanic it is? I know that Ecuador has volcanoes. I'm not sure if they're actually active or not, though. There might also be pockets of like Chile or something that could look like this, and of course, as I said, like Hawaii, obviously, with this much volcanic rock, is always possible. Deep South Argentina, I recall having some, but we have much too much population going on over here for those places, I think. Could this be something else? I don't think it's like Etna. I don't think it's Etna in Italy, surely. But could it be? It's worth exploring that possibility. The houses would seem to fit rather decently. The road also kind of feels a bit European, I must admit. So what else can we actually make out? I mean, let's say we were actually inside the national park here, okay? I mean, there are, like, it's possible to see, like, a city. We could be looking down at, like, this city here, Catania, but I'm not convinced, I must admit. Like, we're up in the mountains here, and we see a lot of houses. Oh, actually, look how many streets there are there. Now, if I wasn't playing a bait map, I'd definitely go for the other stuff I was talking about, but maybe I'm cooking here. I could be cooking here. Every time I don't go for the crazy guess, I regret it, you know. It's worth it on these maps. I think it's possible. Look, the fence felt South American. That's what I could say. So that's what makes me feel a little bit less confident here. So I think naturally you'd want to go Ecuador or Colombia. But I am going to play it fun and go for Etna here. Let's see if I'm correct about that. Oh my gosh. Easy. Already, bro. Already cooking too hard for my boy Eric. Okay, that was good. That was good. That was very good. Okay, next one here. We've got the blur peeking out here. A bit of a trekker action, I guess. Ooh, looking down there. We got a lot of palm trees. We got a lot of white buildings. What's that up on the hill? Some kind of a house. It almost felt a bit Asian. But these ones down here don't feel that Asian. Okay, what about this direction? Oh, is that... That's not a cactus, right? I think it's a pole. But it almost looks like a cactus, weirdly. I'm looking at these plants here. They're very, like, very, coastal looking. I mean, obviously we have the beach there, but still kind of gives me a certain vibe. Could this... I mean, it's not Réunion because of the car, but it kind of... I could have guessed Réunion here. What about it? What about all that down there? A lot of palms. Yeah, it's gettable here. I gotta say, I don't mind a Madagascar idea here. The town that I saw that could fit would be this one. Oh, and we do have a French mountain viewpoint. I don't see where the trail is on here, but if it's a viewpoint, then maybe they sent Trekker there? It's not out of the question, you know. I don't mind this guess. I mean, it'd be crazy if it's right, but something about the vegetation could be that, especially if it kind of reminded me of Réunion. Obviously, that's not too far apart. It could still be Réunion, in which case we get some points for that as well, so I don't mind this guess. South America obviously comes to mind, and these buildings, they feel like, could it be the Canary Islands? I think that's like another great option, but I'm just not sure if the vegetation speaks to me. Like, the town definitely does, but the vegetation doesn't. So I'm gonna go for this. If I'm correct, that's crazy. I didn't actually scan everything. It could be like, could be this one as well, actually. Ooh, that one almost looks better. Do we have a jetty? I don't see a jetty, but the mountain here, it may actually, because these mountains are not big, certainly. This actually could be more so what we're after. Like, I'm getting that vibe that this is actually more so what we're after. We don't really know which direction we're looking at either. But maybe I prefer that. What about the climate-wise? What about the vibe there? Yeah, I mean, I think we may be a bit further away from the equator here. I kind of like this one maybe better. Okay, I'm going to go for that, but do we see a river? I mean, there could easily be a river flowing because we see, like, the division of two hills here. So I kind of like this one better. I'm going to go for it here. Oh, no, it was India. Okay, that makes perfect sense in hindsight. But hey, not terrible. I think my guess still, like, had some merit to it. But that definitely makes sense in hindsight. The buildings were Indian, just did not think of it. I mean, the motorbike also very Indian, so that makes sense. Next one here. What do we have going on? Ooh. This is interesting. I thought of Bolivia at first. Big rows of trees there. Houses, definitely something. Could this be the US? The shacks certainly don't feel very American. But what about that in the little distance? Why did I think of like Bolivia, Peru here? Is that actually possible? Is there a road here? I mean, it's not out of the question. This is like the most generic looking building ever. I really don't get any information off of it. It could be Russia. I don't think you see this kind of road in Russia. They're very too pale, I think. Again, that building. This could be around Titicaca, I think. I think that would be my main thought here. Main thought, Bolivia. I mean, Peru. Second thought, Bolivia. Third thought, Argentina. I think I like it. I'm by no means confident. I mean, it kind of looks like a bunch of other countries, but all in all, I think it's the most likely. I think I'm picking the most likely option here, and I'm happy with that. So let's go around this town. I mean, we should pick a place that kind of looks similar. Let's go. We should be heading up into the mountains, but not quite. Let's go in this camp here. Nah, something nearby here. I feel like this area really does look like that a bit. Around Lake Langui, maybe. Do we see a lake at all? No, we don't. But I still think I like that area. Let's go for right here instead. Ooh, 13 points. Where is this actually? Ooh, up in the mountains in Italy. Difficult one. Another Italian location, by the way. Yeah, those buildings were literally so generic. The road looked European in hindsight. Just didn't think it was Europe, though. I guess those rows of trees in the hill also make sense, but yeah. Round 4 out of 5 here. What are we looking at here? This is difficult again. Okay, so we appear to have... Maybe this is Spain, you know? This could be Spain. Okay, we have a fence here. Kind of looks like Australian or South African fence or something. Maybe even North American fence. Didn't really remind me of a Spanish fence, but we can't really trust anything here, in all honesty. And the landscape feels a bit Spanish, feels a bit Turkish, possibly even. Well, this is Trekker again. I don't really know how that changes my opinion about anything. I guess that kind of widens the amount of places it could be, though. Very rocky. I mean, this could be Peru this time as well, but I feel like it's not. These kind of, it's like autumnish looking trees. I don't know. Definitely a difficult one here. I think I'm all in all leaning towards Europe. I think Spain is still a decent guess here. I just can't quite pick where I'd put it in Spain, which is a bit concerning to me, you know. You always want to have, when you go for a guess, something in mind, some region. Otherwise, it probably means you're in the wrong place. But yeah, I think I'm losing patience on this one. Even though I think it's probably figure-outable. I think I'll just go for Spain. My very first thought. USA is so possible. I have to say that. But US is so big as well. Maybe the fence is more US, you know. Okay, what's the psychology here? It's a very thin road, but it's a national park probably, or some kind of trekker. I think I'm gonna switch my mind here. I think I'm gonna go US, and then it would be like, would it be like southwestern South Dakota or Nebraska or something like that? I hope it's not Spain. Let's see what it actually is here. Oh, New Zealand. That makes sense. It was like an Australian South African fence, also New Zealand fence. Yeah, that was very gettable. Very gettable. Just didn't think of it. And the last one here, surely Russia. So, I mean, surely not Russia. I think it's just going to be Canada then. Yeah, I'm just going to go Canada here. It's meant to look like Russia, but it's not going to be Russia, is it? So, yeah, I'm just going to go Saskatchewan. I don't really think there's too much deeper than that. I mean, it definitely looks like Russia. That's for sure. And this direction, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, the trees look Russian, but, you know, you get that in other countries too. So I'm just going to go Sask here, call it a day, see if we're right about it or not. Oh, no, it was just Norway. Okay, well, definitely a difficult Norway there. So he was right. This map was very difficult. And I think if it was made some 3 months ago, maybe, I had not had many Etna area rounds before, and I would have got that wrong. But hey, we got 5,200 points, so we have not failed entirely. That is a good one. GG's to TreezErik. And now that was actually the third lowest score of the entire series so far, so definitely a difficult round. Fortunately, if it was going to be Italy, it had to be Etna there, so we came out with a dub at least on one round. And here is the final one, made by Finbarr, who is the best Russia player in the world by many accounts. So I'm expecting something crazy in Russia here potentially. And the first one here is just some palms, but these are oil palms. And if I've learnt anything about oil palms in this series so far, it's don't guess Southeast Asia, because there are probably some different oil palms. So with that in mind, I'm not going to go Southeast Asia here. I'm going to try something else. It almost reminded me of the Cocos and Keeling Islands. So is it trekker? It appears not to be trekker here, which I mean means we can't really go there, but it was an interesting thought I had. Also thought of like British Virgin Islands, or British Indian Ocean Territory. You know, I don't think they have oil palms there, but it kind of looks like that. American Samoa, yeah, I don't think it's there. But I think maybe yes, maybe Mexico is most likely out of the kind of oil palm growing countries, or maybe this is reverse psychology and it is just Indonesia. That would be always possible, you know. Maybe lemons put him up to it. But I don't know. What about what do we see through here in this gap? Not much info. Yeah, it's tree plantations, not the easiest places to guess. And I'm just gonna go for Mexico because I feel like it is possible. Not likely, perhaps. In fact, I am like 90% sure I'm wrong, which you never really want to be when you make a guess. But I just don't really think of what's the better alternative apart from Asia. Yeah. It could be Mexico. I'm gonna go for it here. Let's see what's right. And man, it was Philippines. I mean, I strongly considered Philippines there. But as I said, I don't go Asia anymore, so unfortunately, we were kind of low-key a little bit reverse psychology there. Okay, next one here. Immediately reminded me of Europe with this kind of lush and dense vegetation. Could it be more south than you think? Because it reminded me of the Baltic at first. And now I'm looking at the trees and everything. I mean, this feels... Okay, another possibility is Canada. I'm trying to see if I can discount Canada here, because it does kind of look like Canada as well. And if we're talking about a bait location, then it would certainly make sense to put a road that looks like this, kind of very narrow in Canada. So what else can we see here? Yeah, it could also be the US as well. I don't know, it depends how crazy I want to go here, because I think... standard guess would just be like Estonia, or maybe even something further south in Europe. But the Canada, I mean, I'm struggling to place it in Europe, so maybe I will just go for Canada here, which I feel like is just like very possible. It's not likely, but it's just very possible, and I kind of like the idea of trying it. Okay, so what else in Europe could work here? I know Latvia's pretty good. Maybe in like, this could be Russia as well. Actually, I just remembered it's Finn. This could well be Russia. it would be a strange feeling Russia, but it could also just be Russia bait. I don't love Russia here, but then again, he's gonna find Russias that look nothing like it. So I'm gonna go Canada, but just with the acknowledgement that this could well be something crazy in Russia, and I will go near Ottawa, in Cobbin, and on this little road, Marjorie Road, like that. Oh no, it was Russia. Okay, that makes sense. Khabarovsk. Yeah, hard one. I think if I guessed in Russia, I would have guessed Western Russia anyway, so we would have had just about as many points guessing in Canada as we did there. But we at least don't get 0 points, that's something. Next one here also looks like Russia, but I'm assuming it's not going to be Russia. Well, I have to go Russia here. Unfortunately, if it's Finn, I think even with the possibility that this is just a standard Europe, like a Poland, we are obliged to go Russia here, essentially. So, where would I go, though? I feel like this also feels like Western Russia, but this could definitely be out near Chelyabinsk and the Urals or something like that, or even further east, I could see that. But yeah, no, the vibes of Western Russia here for sure, especially with these ferns. I mean, it honestly looks like France or Poland or something like that, but yeah, I've pretty much resigned myself that I have to guess Russia here, otherwise I won't be able to live with myself. Yeah, slight north vibes here, a little bit. No, I feel like it's just kind of in line with Moscow somewhere. Let's go east of Moscow right here. And yeah, I always considered that as well. It's just Eastern Russia again here, all the way north. Yeah, I mean, lots of pines out here, and we saw a lot of pines there. But yeah, only 47 points. Silver lining, we got the country right. Next one here is kind of interesting. This kind of looks like, yeah, like Greece or something like that. Maybe something else in Europe. It could always be... Ooh, surely this is not southern Russia. That would be pretty crazy. I would say not. I think 3 Russias would also be a bit excessive, although we didn't have Western Russia yet. Okay, what clues do we have here, really? Could this be like Mexico? I actually don't mind a Mexico idea here, just because Mexico can have sometimes very interesting looking pine plantations, which would seem to be a bit out of place. The road quality itself, though, kind of reminded me a bit of Europe as well. But I'm struggling to place it. I don't actually think it's Greece. And then I don't think Spain also fits really nicely as well. And then it's not Turkey in my opinion. So yeah, and also the copyright was just staring at me here. It's 2020. Not that that really necessarily helps me narrow it down. I don't really know where 2020 is found that much, but it's not Greece. I can say that much. So that's good at least. I don't know. Is there something I'm missing? I think Mexico can fit with that, and it does kind of look like Mexico. So I feel like that's my main thought here. And yeah, I'm trying not to look at copyright, but sometimes it does just stare you in the face like that. Okay, let's. I don't think it's near Mexico City. I think if it is there, it's like Durango, like a northern pine forest. Chile? No, not Chile, not Argy. Yeah, I feel like this is good. I'm happy with this guess. If it's not, it's something Mediterranean, but I just don't pick what it would be. So I'm going to go for Mexico here. And it was in that area, actually outside LA there. So we've managed to beat the Debray game, but obviously I would like to get close on the last one. Yeah, USA, that makes sense. I guess with 2020, it definitely makes sense. And the last one here is familiar. This looks like maybe Alaska or Yukon or something like that. What do we have down this road? Ooh. That's an interesting pole with like a big transformer on it. That almost feels a bit like, well, it kind of looks Australian or something, but yeah, this is not Australia, unfortunately. Ooh, but that's, ooh, could this be? No way, I could guess Australia here. I'm just looking at this tree here, which is definitely a eucalyptus tree. Without a doubt, a eucalyptus tree. These are all are. I mean, and this is also an Australian tree, like a wattle or something like that. No way. I think, honestly, this would have to be Tasmania, and this transformer would not be in Tasmania, I think. But gosh, does it kind of... Some of those trees are actually Australian, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, that's a sign on the left of the road. This could be South Africa. I'm liking South Africa the more this run goes on. I'm looking for some rubbish now. You often do see a little bit of litter in South Africa, but we don't have any here. I still think the standard guess is North America. But the serious mix of Australian trees is really making me consider that ZA as well. Just trying to think what we had so far. Did we have a North America round? We did. We didn't have anything in Africa. I kind of like it for that reason. This building looks more North American. It does. And down this direction, I don't think you get this big box in South Africa. So I think I'm gonna have to switch. But what on earth are those eucalypts doing in Canada? Because this is what I think it is. I think it's Canada, maybe in Vancouver Island or even further north, or maybe in Alaska. That would be, I don't think they can survive in Alaska. Straight up. But also the wattle. This is also an Australian tree. That's just so strange to me. If this is Australia, I'm really going to be flabbergasted. Absolutely. But yeah, I think I'll go Canada here. All in all. It's a strange guess, maybe. But I think I like it the best. Let's go in Port Albany. See if we're correct. Okay. You know, I thought it looked like Chile a bit, but the Generation 2 camera, I didn't really consider. And yeah, it makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Like exactly like Australia latitude there, like on the same as the Australian cities, but also like with like mountains. So yeah, that makes sense indeed. 1,893. Honestly, I feel like I don't feel like this was the hardest map. I feel like the rushes I could easily get. And if on a good day I could click east and then we get lots of points. And the Philippines also was a bit of like reverse psychology. So yeah, I feel like it definitely a hard one. Not hard in the way that it was impossible to get a good score there. And so there we go, Finbarr coming with the second hardest map of the series, beating out Lemon there. And that is how the leaderboard stands so far. So let me know how you guys did in the seeds today, guys. This was a lot of fun as usual. And yeah, should be fun to see how you guys did in the challenge links, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end. I'll see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, and catch you later.